Well, here we are back again, episode 43. We're moving on, and it's good to be back, Russell, isn't it? It's good to be back in the old throes of getting the podcast going, and I really enjoyed listening to Neil and Matt and their story and how brothers could work together, and then, you know, how they want to help others as well. And you think, well, why not just help your own business? But they want to go out and help others to then help their business grow. Fascinating story, and again, coming from adversity, it feels to me.
Yes, exactly. The takeaway for me was very much, you know, they say don't mix family and business, and I've had my trials and tribulations, I have to say, when it comes to family and business. But I think Matt and Neil are really testimony to the fact that although they've had their ups and downs, particularly when they were younger, and they seem to have kind of got that out of the way, that now as a consequence of their background and, you know, maybe squaring up to each other as they fell out of the taxi. They now have this kind of bond, this respect, and they are very, very effective business partners now. So I hope that people were sufficiently inspired by that. Talking of inspiration, I think this one might be quite inspiring.
Definitely. So, as we say, episode 43, come about again from a chance meeting, Russell. So, talk me through your meeting with our guest today, and you were straight onto the WhatsApp group saying, we need to get Sam on the podcast. You know, immediately, I think it was midnight as well. My phone's buzzing, and it's old Quirky saying, I found another great guest.
Yeah, no, I was at a conference. It was the EXP conference in Birmingham, which was packed, and a certain lady took to the stage to talk about her story, and her story not just in career terms, but from a life perspective. And it was, it really kind of it inspired, and it kind of captured my interest. I thought, look, this is a real case study of success, and maybe not just success, but success based on maybe having some uncertainty at first and some hesitation, but then things kind of working out. So on that note, I will introduce you to the wonderful, what I'd like to call the £1 million agent, Sam Cerrone.
Oh,
Sam, welcome.
The £1 million agent.
Yeah, well, I doorstepped you straight away after that. I came up to you and said, hey, Sam, do you remember at the coffee machine that said, do you want to come on the Two Russell podcast? And you were quite surprised that you would qualify. I mean, why? You're amazing.
I felt like a little mini celeb after the EXP conference, and I kept calling it that I'm opening the show. Right. But it really did feel like it. It's like...
You're so humble.
Thank you.
Was that the first time you'd spoken on stage? Or?
Yeah, literally.
Right.
I know it's really funny because I was inspired by the Women's in Estate Agency conference earlier on in the year. And, you know, when you go into every new year and you're like, right, come on, give me a new challenge. I've done estate agency for 20 years. And I went into this year thinking, right, what can I do that's new, that's different? And I just kept going to networking events. And I was at Women in Estate Agency, and I seen these women on stage, and like my heart just went out to me. I was like, oh my God, the thought of being on stage and talking to people, believe it or not, I get a kick out of it. I'd love it.
Well, I wasn't privileged to the conference, but Russell's told me a little bit about it, so I'm really excited to be able to share this with our listeners today. And usually we go all the way back to start at, you know, where childhood and going through that. I just want to start at the other end and understand icon status, because I saw on your LinkedIn ×4, icon ×4. So tell me what icon ×4 is.
So I didn't even know what icon was when I first found out that I'd hit it. And I think I said that in the presentation. So when you join with EXP, which is the network that I work under for my estate agency brand, you do what's called your hit cap as quick as you possibly can, which is exchanging on 80,000. EXP take their 24. They then back off, and they take £250 per transaction off each one that goes through. Once you've capped, which is now becoming kind of like the norm on LinkedIn. Fast forward then 40 plus units, you then get what's called an icon status.
So you have to cap plus 40.
Cap plus 40, all within an anniversary year. So my anniversary year is the 1st of July. So you have to do this all within a whole year. And when you cap, when you then icon, they then take another step back and they take £100 per transaction. You get $16,000 in your shares, which is just incredible.
In the EXP business, because it's listed on the NASDAQ in the US, I think,
Yeah, which is obviously just growing.
Yeah.
And when I got the phone call from Adam to say, do you know you hit icon? I was like, what's icon?
How many icon agents are there typically each year within EXP?
We're waiting to see whether they move the goalposts, because I think more and more people are starting to hit it. But I think in the first year there was only 3. And I think as of last year, I think there was only 8.
But then, but weren't there, or maybe there were, I'm just trying to think exactly what the number was around cappers and icons. But you're in a very elite group.
Yeah.
So business is going really well.
extremely well.
Well, let's get back to this £1 million thing, because this is the thing that really inspired me. There were three things actually inspired me. Let me just go through and we'll talk about each one of the three things. Right. The first is that you almost became self-employed as an EXP agent. Almost you fell into it almost by accident. It wasn't an engineered thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you are a £1 million agent. Now, you're humble about that. When I said that to you previously, you said, oh, yeah, but then I've got to take off my EXP share and so on. But you have billed, I mean, bearing in mind we're going back to you saying that in Birmingham 3 or 4 months ago, you've billed more than £1 million in estate agency fees in what, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, it was five years.
5 years.
Literally more or less to the date of me doing the presentation. It was so unusual.
Which is a huge amount of money. And then the next thing that I want to talk about, in deference to a survey that Proper PR did actually a few weeks ago, which showed that 37% of UK estate agents don't think that social media is at all important. You have built your business. Apart from you, personality, organisation, you are very, very good at all the aspects that are required to be successful in business. But you've built it on social media and in particular Instagram.
Completely.
So what should we talk about first? Should we talk about how do you make £1 million?
I find it very natural because to me, I just wake up and I do my job and I love my job and I help my clients and the team that I built around. So to me, it comes very natural. So when people ask me how, can you make £1 million by doing a job that you just absolutely love?
Well, you have.
There must be a lot of units as well for you as well. So you're dealing with
around about 90 to 100 a year.
Okay, so talk us through the
coming
first
in
year
now.
then. So in the year one, you probably didn't think you were ever going to do £1 million in 4 or 5 years, and you
God,
have.
no.
So talk us through year one and what you did, and I guess what you felt like at the end of that year in terms of, okay, I'm getting traction here. Now I'm going to get bigger and better in year 2, bigger and better in year 3, and so on. So what does year one look like at year
Well, I
3?
think what's quite scary is when I first had the conversation with Adam Day, I'd based it all on working on around about a 40 grand pipeline. So that's all that was in my head, 40 grand. And that's what enabled me to have the salary that I was used to at my previous company. So that's all I had in my head. 40, 45 grand is all I need in my pipeline.
So that would have made you how much a year?
70 to 80 grand.
Net to you after EXP?
because you're turning
After
it
EXP.
each quarter and
Let alone solicitors and stuff like that. That's what I wanted to be able to have, the work-life balance and the freedom and, all of that stuff. So that's what it was all based on. I launched on the 1st of July and at the end of October, I had a 54 grand pipeline and I'd already banked 28 grand.
Wow.
So I was a bit like, holy shit.
And
And this is where you say how. I just got up every single day and I just went to every single freaking valuation that I could. And
Did
I
you have
just
a
put them on.
process?
No, and this is where I'm really crap.
But
This is where like my downside is I don't have procedures, I don't have spreadsheets. My friends laugh and joke at me, some of my really close friends. I love to write everything down with pen and paper, still to this day.
I bet you got a highlighter.
Highlighter, pen, paper. It's what I absolutely love.
And you're a career estate agent at Countrywide for many, many years, weren't you? So you were
Yeah,
there
13
for
years worth
13 years.
corporate, 2 years independent, and then obviously.
And then the break to go to
then the break.
EXP. And you've banked money incredibly quickly. So Russell was telling me you built the business completely on social media. So day one, you open EXP. Did you just go back and knock on all the doors from Vista, or did you?
Yes, so a guy that is a really, really close friend of mine called Chris, I employed him as an estate agent about 6 years prior to launching. And he was probably like my biggest fan. And I created him. That sounds really bad because I didn't. That sounds really bad. But in a estate agency, I built him up from the bottom to when he left, which is then when he followed me. But he was a little entrepreneur on the side. He designed websites. He did social media accounts. And cut a long story short, when I left the corporate and went to the independent, I begged him to come with me. This independent, I didn't necessarily like the staff. I was just giving them. They weren't my cup of tea and I needed him. And bless him, he came with me. And he kept saying, you need to run your own estate agent. Now, to me, no. I don't think I had the qualities of it. I'm very scatty.
It never really crossed your mind
Never.
that one
To get
day
a shop
Never.
front
I'm
and-
doing all this
No.
so that I can have my own business
No, never.
with a branch.
Never.
Okay.
And that's what's quite scary. In the corporate world, I just wanted to be an area manager.
And what status did you get to at Countrywide? You got to branch manager?
Yeah, the biggest branch you could possibly
Because
get.
and successfully.
Yeah, very successful. And then the next
Winning
step would
awards, winning all the prizes.
Yeah.
And where was
Chairman's
that?
clubs and
Which branch?
Birmingham way. So the biggest one that I got was Selly Oak after the lady that had run it for 20 years had
But
retired.
then your natural thought is, okay, my natural step up now is area manager.
Area management, retirement, that in my life.
that was it?
Yeah, that genuinely hand on heart.
So what happened?
So then I got approached by a gentleman that I used to work with who at the time would call a really, really close friend. He was my first ever branch manager.
That's telling.
Yeah. Unexpectedly to him, he lost his partner that he'd been with for, don't hold me to it now, but probably 15 odd years. She unfortunately passed away unexpectedly at her brother's wedding.
Oh my God.
So he's widowed with 2 children. Naturally, he's a friend. You go and see them instantly. And before the funeral had even taken place, he said, he took me aside at his house and said, come and run my business for me. So again, I didn't want it. I didn't want to leave Countrywide. I even laughed and joked and said, I've just had a new BM.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll get you a better car.
Right.
And then he put a package in front of me that was jaw-dropping. Genuine, it was life-changing. It was double.
In terms of an OTE, an on-target earning.
Even the basic.
Even the basic?
Basic was double instantly.
So you think, right, I'm helping him out. He's a mate and I'm going to earn.
Completely. And I'm doing what I love. And I was a little bit closer to home. The city life for Birmingham was quite chaotic with investors and stuff like that. So I was back in my hometown. And it was sold to me on the fact that you can have it. You can have the business. Work for me for 10 years. And then you'll own 50%. I'll give you 5% every year. And then after the 10 years is up, you can buy my other half.
So it sounds like a dream ticket.
It's a no-brainer.
And so why aren't you still there?
So first year, incredible. I started learning how to run a business. I'm running his business. He's not there. He pops in once a week. We
Is
talk.
he helping you? Guidance,
No,
advice?
he doesn't need to, with all due respect. And I think that's the reason why he got me in.
On the business side, I mean.
He didn't need to.
Because you've run a branch before, but you haven't done
I
the
hadn't run a
VAT.
business.
Yeah.
And when I handed my notice in at Countrywide, it was very much like, look, you can't put anything in front of me that's going to match it.
Yeah.
And I cried my eyes out, genuinely. I didn't want to leave, but I had to take this opportunity. So yeah, first year, absolutely incredible. And I think I improved it by 100 grand plus. Learned how you could earn money off solicitors, learned how you're in control of
referrals, mortgages.
a lot more than what you, as opposed to your 25 quid for your
Yeah,
solicitors. There's a lot more to it. And then the first year passes and we sit down for the review, waiting for my 5% to be put in.
Is this all in writing?
No.
Right.
And this is where maybe my vulnerable side kicks in.
There's a lesson to everybody there, which now doesn't need to be pointed out. If you get promises made, even if it's your best friend, get it in writing.
Yeah.
What happened?
I didn't get my 5% share. I got made a director. He then brought in another director that we were 2 completely different people. And I remember breaking down in tears with him saying, I didn't leave Countrywide to run this business
In
with you
partnership
and
with
him
someone else,
and
yeah.
someone else that in theory I think is very good at their job, but I don't like their key values on how they do life outside of work. Take it or leave it, Sam. It is what it is. So a different approach to it all. That other department was lettings, which I knew absolutely nothing about. And I think he very quickly learned that a business can be valued very much on lettings, which I wasn't aware of.
Yep.
So anyway, fast forward then another year, and I think I'm just there then because the money's good. It's flexible.
Yeah.
It's easy with the kids. Am I
Close to
happy?
home,
Not
yeah.
necessarily. I've got my best friend working with me that was helping run the social media on the side. He kept me going every day. Lockdown kicks in. And oh my God, the differences on how to run the business just really came out. Now,
Because you're under pressure.
I'm under pressure and I don't deliver myself well when I'm under pressure and when I'm emotional. I sometimes, do you ever have like those moments where the following day you're like, why didn't I say this? And why didn't I say it? Because I've processed it and I've thought about
All
it.
the time.
Do you, honestly,
Yeah.
but you then question yourself as a person, why can't I deliver how I feel? Why do I become emotional? Why can I not get it across what I'm thinking? And then all of a sudden you feel quite little in this room. And I never forget the saying that he said to me, what do you think's going to happen, Sam? Do you think that lockdown's going to finish and you're literally just going to turn the tap on and the market's going to come back to normal? You're absolutely living in another world.
Yeah.
He was
So he
like,
was all doom and gloom.
and that's where the
He was
alarm.
wrong.
Yes, he was very wrong.
Because it kicked off.
And that's where the alarm bell hits. So before it really come to town of what I could actually do here, this is somebody that should be running a business and he's just doom and gloom. He should be steering the ship.
He should have the foresight.
Probably deep down, he's absolutely fucking shitting himself.
But he should have stepped in almost to be a bit of a
Completely.
mentor with his experience and say, we've got this, we just need to ride out a short period of time. I think it's going to come back where
We've got
it's
furlough. We've got lots of help as well.
Furlough, everything. So anyway, I'm at home. I'm running his business. He's barely updating with me. He's only updating on me to know if exchanges are going through. Right. Well, lo and behold, go and speak to freaking Boris because he's put a hold on it. Yeah. The fact of the matter is I took it upon myself. I keep the pipeline together. I make sure the sales don't fall through, touch base with everybody, make sure that they're feeling secure.
So this is just to remind everybody that this was, I think, April 2020 when the government said everything is shut down.
Everything. So lettings is still going on. It's bringing all the income in.
But they closed the property market. I think the only thing that, apart from key workers and essential services, they allowed construction to carry on. But that was only for 2 or 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Because then they opened the property market back up again. And I remember
they opened it.
And I remember people saying, why are estate agents key? Yeah. Well, the reason was that it was seen by the government, I guess, that the property market is key to a very successful and buoyant economy. They couldn't keep it closed.
Yeah.
So then it kicked back off.
Well, before it then kicked, this is then when it gets good. So it's while you're sat at home with a laptop on your lap and you've got your children around you and your husband and you're watching Only Fools and Horses day in, day out with cream cakes, but I'm selling houses.
Sitting there, yes.
The light bulb moment kicks in. And Chris, who helps me with my social media, by the way, when we keep going back to social media, he'd been messaging me. We were talking loads. He set up his business in lockdown because he actually said to the managing director at the time, "Why don't you let me recreate all the socials?" So his response is, "Who's going to be looking at their socials during?" Honestly,
like literally
I mean,
I think we need to get them on.
That statement now with my best friend Chris, it will forever take that to our grave because it's one of the best statements ever. But anyway, he was like, "Sam, please go and follow this guy. Please go and reach out to this guy." And it was a gentleman called Ben Moore with EXP. Yeah. He was one of the first that had started. Founders, Sam, just whatever you do, just go and have a chat with him. So I spent my time in lockdown on doing some research. How can I do this? Yeah. But like I said, it never attracted me. But then when I went through the figures and was like, hang on, I can sell houses from home.
So it was an opportunity based on circumstance.
Completely. Wow. Completely.
Okay, but then you started getting an appetite for it, started getting excited, talking to Ben, looking at the
numbers.
Talking to
Ben, started looking at socials, looking at the numbers. And once the numbers are there, if you're passionate about this job and you're bloody good, you can't get them gone. So then I go back in the May. And I can't look at my boss. I actually think he's a bit of a dick.
Right.
I don't, no, sorry. Like I remember looking at him, like laughing to myself. Yep. And what he wanted to do was just basically get rid of everybody. How can we cut costs?
Is that you can do it much better.
Completely. Yeah. And that day, I'll never forget it. There was 5 valuations booked in, 4 had requested me. And it took me up to 15 years to realise that actually the reason why I was good at my job is because people liked me, not the name. I didn't realise it.
You're the brand.
And my husband kept saying it for years. No, Sam, it's you. It's you. But it was that moment when I looked at that door, I was like, 4 of these people have requested for me. So I go home to my husband. Do you know how much I'd have put in my pipeline today? Do you know how many houses I'd have put on? Do you know how much that would have been for?
I calculated that.
Seriously, I couldn't get it gone. Yeah. So anyway, I had a bee in my bonnet. He probably realised it. I think there was a few words exchanged. And then he asked me, I think I even said, can I work 4 days a week, 1 from home? No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Even though you just worked very successfully for months.
So actually, it's just actually come back. It's just come back to me. He wouldn't let the sales progressor come back. And I said, why? I said, she can focus on the pipeline. I can go out and put houses on the market. And he said, no, we've got to cut costs. And I said, I'll take a 15 grand cut to pay. I cannot do this job without her. She works for me now, by the way. And that's what kicked off a big argument on a Friday night. Sunday night, I get an email. A director's got to go. They need to restructure the business. Right. And because it's been heavily affected via sales, it was all aimed at me.
An email, not a phone call?
An email at 9:30 on a Sunday night.
Can I just suggest, I don't know this individual, we haven't mentioned his name, how cowardly.
It really got me, and anybody who knows me knows that if you're my friend, you're my friend. And I don't think I deserved it. No. I genuinely didn't.
And you'd only gone there in the first place.
Everyone knows, don't they? Everyone reads their emails all the time. So exactly. That email's going to land, you're going to read it.
In the first place to help this chap out. Yeah. Okay, you'd earn more money, but you'd gone there, you'd almost kind of jeopardise your corporate career to go and help him, and that's the way he repays you.
Well, the email was, I was on a call at 8:30 in the morning to talk about an exit plan. So
but
you can imagine I didn't have sleep. Well, I had a plan, but I didn't know how it looked because as much as EXP take their money as it lands, you still need some money up front. You're not going to earn any money for 6 months.
You're going to survive for the first few months.
Yeah, I'm the main breadwinner at this point.
So did you have that money? So did you have, I don't know what you need to live on. Let's say you need 40 grand a year. So you needed 20 grand to last you for 6 months.
More or less, yeah, basically.
You just about had it.
Yeah, well, what he offered me was laughing and joking.
So this was your severance.
Yes. So then I go and speak to the solicitor, and thank God then it was sorted within 4 weeks. But rumour has it that he'd apparently said Sam will be absolutely fine. She's brilliant at her job. Dixon's will have her back.
Right.
He had absolutely no idea.
But that was not your intention.
That 4 weeks later I was fucking
on every board, on every
everywhere
in his patch.
In his patch.
What's happened to
my patch?
Before we elaborate on this, what's happened to his business since?
It's still there. It's still going. I think he went out, from what I got told. They made, I think it's more 75% lettings, 25% sales, and a lot of their sales come from their lettings, if that makes sense.
Is the other director still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to you, not really an entity.
But I never forget what the solicitor said to me. He said that if COVID wasn't there, we could have took it further because I've improved the business. There's no reason to get rid of me. I've been there over 2 years. However, he didn't realise how COVID would stand up.
Right.
And to be fair to the gentleman that did it, I mean, I think he said to people since, I did Sam a favour.
Yeah.
I hate that saying.
Believe me, you've done him the favour.
Do you know what I mean?
For me exiting her, she would never have done this.
But I remember the solicitor saying if COVID wasn't there, we could take it further. We still could, but I don't know what it's going to be. And he said, if I was you, I'd just get your name off Company's House, set up your new business, go and get cracking on with it ASAP. In 6 months, you'll be sticking your middle finger up. Yeah. And that was and I remember just signing that form, taking away my directorship, taking away.
It's very much a case of his loss is your gain, family's gain, and arguably your client's gain, right? Because now you're doing it for yourself. Those clients that are now then inevitably.
Well, 4 weeks later, I get an email saying that I've poached.
Oh, you poached, yeah.
Of course they do, as they do. Yeah. And you're like, no, mate, I've just launched on social media and I've gained 2,000 followers overnight.
I
Why?
didn't solicit them; they come to me.
Yeah. So my social media guy, who is literally like my best friend, was always in the background, and he was like, Sam, I knew this was going to happen. He sat me down and said, right, you get behind the camera. Yeah. This is your colouring. This is your branding.
Right, so let's talk about this. So we've talked about the how in terms of how you've ended up being a self-employed agent with EXP. We've talked about the million, which obviously has been no real plan, but just your passion for listing, selling, building a team. You've kind of accidentally banked £1 million, right? Brilliant. Good for you.
Is that really bad?
Yeah. No, it's
I'm
not
so
bad.
sorry that I haven't gone into like
do you know
logistics.
why it's not bad? It's because you really thoroughly enjoy what you do, and it's because you thoroughly enjoy that you're doing very well. Let's really dial into the social media, right? Because this needs to be a little masterclass from Sam Cerrone to anybody watching this. First of all, the 37% that don't think social media is important, which is hilarious, by the way, but also those that do a bit of social media on LinkedIn and Instagram and think, well, what do I do? What do I post? So you were about to say about video. Talk us through how has that been the kind of the anchor strategy on your social media?
Yes. So I was really lucky. I mean, this is 5 years ago now. That to be behind the camera back 5 years ago as an estate agent was like, oh my God, was unusual. Yeah. And that's what my social media guy said. You've got to get behind the camera, and you've just got to be you. So I can't be anyone else. I can't have a script in front of me.
I look at your socials ready for this, and it's just you're real, aren't you? You're being you. You're building trust because people are saying, well, this is just natural, absolutely.
And I think that's what people want. They just want to know who you are.
But what are you doing on video? So let's give a little class to those watching and listening. So what would you do?
So it first started as just literally just introducing yourself and what you can do. You just need to be authentic. You need to deliver what you could deliver in an appointment. Like if I was sat here and we're having a conversation, that conversation could happen behind camera. So don't go and be somebody you're not. I had braces at the time. I was probably like spitting through my braces. Tell people about success. Tell people about the background. People absolutely loved all the behind the scenes stuff.
What, people's houses?
People's houses or anyone that started following. So my face was everywhere, which again is becoming more the norm, but it wasn't back then. Every time I'd go to an appointment, I'd pull up outside the house for 10 minutes prior and I'd put up the camera. And it would just be like, right, I've got a valuation. I couldn't obviously say the exact address. Yeah. This is what I know.
Semi,
this is what I know prior hand. This is what I know about the clients. This is how I'm going to help them. So then you go and do the appointment, then you go back in and then you put up the camera again. And that could be anything from, I've just been in tears in the appointment. I'm really excited for them.
This is real, almost like a reality thing.
This is full, and that's what everyone kept saying. It's like
a reality.
But no one was doing it back then.
A day in the life of.
Yeah,
constantly.
Nobody. And literally the followers were... Every single night, it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And then now 12,000 Instagram.
12,000 on Instagram, yeah, and I think 9,000 on Facebook.
And so if you posted out, I'm looking for a 3-bed semi for clients school, need to go to this school, need a garden, blah, blah, blah. How many replies are you getting? What sort of...
At the beginning, believe it or not, I didn't get loads about that. It would just be more, here's a house that I've gone live, and it would always be linked to the client. So it'd be like, thank you so much for the client for putting their trust in me. Or it was always about the client, and let me get you to the end journey, and let me tell you how we did it, and let me tell you the emotions that were involved for me, and let me tell you the emotions that were involved for the client. Yeah, so then we'd get clients behind the camera as well. We'd have photos of, so every time the board would go up, because again, it's got the face on that nobody was doing, I'd be like, right, get the kids in front of it. Yes, it's a selfish point of view because I want to put it on social, but it's also, we're doing this as a family, we're doing this as a team.
No, it's very
Let's
real.
have everybody involved.
And I wasn't at the conference, I said, so are you doing other marketing or are you purely social? So are you putting leaflets through doors? Or you
I did 2 days of leaflets. I got blisters and couldn't do anymore.
gave up?
I didn't give up. No, I didn't give up. It just didn't work. Right. I was getting more leads through my social than I was by...
Is that predominantly where you get your seller leads from now?
85%.
All from Instagram, effectively, in a local area where you've built up those followers that, I mean, not lots of them, but they're very focused, presumably, on your area. So they're ordinary people following you because they like the journey and,
It's like people wanted to be part of it, and then you'd put up the post about they've completed, and then you'd get messages like, I can't wait to be one of your clients. Right. So then you get messages like, I want you to put my house on the market. So long gone are the 3 agents through the door. Let's present on what I can do for you, because it's all there on socials.
The 7 steps, the pricing triangle. You know.
And are you the biggest agent in your area?
No, I can't deal with it. I could be. I could literally change it tomorrow night, but I haven't got the staff to deal with it. Every now and then we put a pause on the business on new instructions coming on.
Just to deal with
it. Put a pause. That's unheard of in estate agency.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know anybody that would say...
Because you don't want to compromise on your service.
Completely. And that's just happened in the summer holidays.
What do you say to a seller that contacts you and says, I'm ready to have a valuation, I want to go on the market this week? You have to say, there's a bit of a waiting list.
Exactly that. We're currently at capacity.
Which probably makes them want to use you even more.
I'd like to think so. And then it really says a lot about the clients then that do wait 4 weeks for you.
Yeah. Sorry, hang on. Can we just get our heads around this for a second? The UK estate agency market, which is, a bit of a Wild West thing.
There's people pie charts. Obsessed
with but people listing anything at any price at any fee, almost because they're desperate for listings. And we've got Sam Cerrone sitting here saying, I'm kind of picking and choosing. And sometimes I have to say no to listings. I mean, honestly, this is unheard of.
Really?
In a great way.
It's not a no, it's a not yet.
No, but it's testimony.
That's exactly what it is.
Sam, it's testimony to your brand and how you've built it. And it's personal, because it's very personal. It's a personal brand. It's testimony to what you've built. It's incredible.
It's an attraction business. And so where does the drive come from, Sam? Because you've got so much energy. Where's that drive come from? So were you always wanting to be an estate agent?
No,
back in?
who
you went
was?
To the careers officer. I want to be an estate agent.
Didn't even know what one was. The guy that interviewed me, when I started with Countrywide, it was in a conference room. And I remember just seeing an advert. That was the start of my EXP conference. There was an advert just in the paper, not LinkedIn. Right. Just in the paper, proper, paper.
Yeah. This is what, about 18, 19 years ago?
20.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 2004.
And what were you doing? So you just left school?
Hairdressing.
Hairdressing.
Nice. Yeah, literally hairdressing. I just knew I liked it, but I knew there was something else there.
Instagram of how hairdressers used to move, didn't they? Jobs. By the way, I'm going to be working down the road in a minute. Yeah, whisper in your ear.
So that's how you started in Countrywide? You saw
there was just an advert. Are you ambitious? Are you driven? Do you want a job that's different day in, day out? I didn't even know it was for an estate agent. Drove to Coventry. I've literally just passed my driving test. Go into a room of like 25 people with all these bosses at the bottom. And then the one guy that interviewed me, which was the independent guy's brother. So it's all linked in Countrywide, isn't it? It's all inbred. Literally. And I never forget one of the guys stood up, one of the area managers, and said, if you're looking for a job that you put the phone down, or you get in your car at 5 o'clock and you think the job's done, just walk out the door now. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Little did they know. Little did they know the monster that they were about to create. Because I bet you haven't done that. I bet if the phone rings at 8 o'clock at night and it's a client, I bet you answer it.
I've learned to deal with that a little bit older.
Someone in the team does.
Yes, some of the team does, yeah.
How big's the team?
I'm just about to take on the other ones, 5 in total.
That's 5 under your...
Just all under me.
Brand?
Yeah.
Or is that in the EXP tree?
No,
of
just
them
purely
running?
me. I employ them.
Right, okay, so you...
And they're my best friends.
Lovely.
Yeah, they never worked as an estate agent before.
Right, so you just coached them, trained them. Cool
Can we go back further?
Oh, okay.
So Sam's born. And
How long have we got? Did I sound really brummy
You're
then?
not that old. So what does growing up look like?
Where do we take it? So,
'Cause I know there's some trauma.
yeah, there's probably more that you probably don't even know as well.
Well, look, only say what you're comfortable with.
No, it's fine.
But we are going to pick at the thread a little bit.
No, it's fine.
If that's
It's fine.
okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
We did talk about this before, by the way.
So when can you remember childhood from? 5, 6 or so? I
You
remember.
listed your first house.
I take my kids driving. I sold this house.
Sold that one. Yeah.
I remember from about the age of 3 or 4, or however long. Yeah, it probably would be about 3 or 4. And I haven't actually divulged this to anybody. My mum used to say, I lived with my nan and my mum. My mum's one of 10. So we lived in a really big house. Yeah, my mum was the eldest. So I've actually got aunties and uncles that are younger than me. So I lived with them. And I never forget my mum would say, I'll find you a daddy. So I'll find you a daddy. So lo and behold, my mum falls in love and I have a daddy that obviously isn't my biological daddy. Okay, so that's another story for another day. So in my eyes then, I've got a dad who is absolutely incredible. He'd been in the army. He took me on as his own, genuinely, and he is my dad. Like literally, he is my dad. Apparently, he tried to adopt me, but the biological person wouldn't allow it.
Right.
So I don't know the reasonings for that still to this day, but that's probably another story that maybe when I'm ready, I'll divulge into.
But it's
EXP conference 2 years.
Maybe.
But you know that he tried to adopt you, so that's brilliant.
Completely, yeah. And he was what you'd want from a dad, which is he sits down and does your homework with you. I love running. He used to take me running.
Did he have other kids at the time?
No. So, but then my mum then did fall pregnant with my brother.
Right.
So there's 5 years between me and my brother. So I think he must have came in round about when I was 3 or 4 or whatever.
He's a good guy.
Really, really good guy. Struggled in life in certain elements, I think, because he'd maybe been in the army and
Maybe the
whatever.
army, yeah. It's quite common, isn't it?
My love for Disney came because of him. So I remember going to the cinema and watching like Disney films with him and everything. So then as you grow up, you pick up on things as you grow up, and you maybe put things to the back of your head. That could be arguments with parents, that could be shouting, that could be whatever. I don't know. So I have a really, really close friend, and at the age of 10, you stop at each other's houses all the time. And her mum was like a second mum to me. And I slept at her house one night, and in the morning, I remember her mum coming upstairs and saying, "Your granddad's downstairs, Sam." Okay, why is my granddad here? Not even that close to my granddad, but why is my granddad here?
Is this your mum's
My mum's dad. My mum's dad. And I'll never forget it. It was in a bay window and there's a seat sat there, and I'll go and sit on his lap. And he said, "Your dad's passed away." So at this point, I'm like, "What the hell? Like, you can't even take it all in."
And you're only 10.
I'm 10. A week before I was 11. So I'm like, okay. You know, when you look back, I probably can't even remember who told me when and how, but he'd taken his own life. Yeah, he'd hung himself in a top floor flat that we were living in. We're in council. So, yeah, but then as you grow up, you learn that he was depressed. He'd actually tried it 3, 4, 5 times, which my granddad had openly said to my mum, "I think you've got to prepare, this is going to happen." My mum was widowed at 28. So, yeah, I can't actually remember now the conversation of when I found out how we'd done it and what. It's really weird because I remember there probably wasn't loads and loads of tears. My worry was for my mum.
Yeah. And she's 28.
She's 28.
And you're 10.
And I'm 10 and my little boy's 5. My brother's 5. Yeah. So she, I've never actually had counselling for it. My little brother hasn't. I think, where's the right and wrong book?
Well, I can't even imagine how you deal with it, how you process it.
And I think the school's got in touch with my mum to say, "Look, I think they need counselling," but my mum's very stubborn. No, we'll do it by ourselves, and none of us have.
And was she, despite the fact that she's going through that upset and that trauma herself, was she good to you and your brother in terms of how she tried to help you through it? Was she the counselling effectively? Or did she fall apart?
You can't say was she good, because she wasn't, but she had every reason to not be.
Yeah.
She did as good as she can.
Right.
I remember having shitloads of holidays that year.
Right.
I think we went abroad about 7 or 8 times.
She just deflected everything.
Yeah.
Which
insurance money come in, as bad as it sounds.
Right.
She bought us a house, cash. Do you know what I mean? So she probably did all the right things, but again, what is the right and wrong things.
Are you close to her now?
We've had a rocky relationship. We've probably been really close the last 3-4 years. A lot closer since I've had my little girl. We then had like different relationships. So I went into motherly mode with my brother.
Okay, right.
And that's because my mum's in a mess and she's got every right to be in a mess. We didn't have phones back then. Mum would go out for a few drinks at the night. I'd be lucky if she'd come back in the morning. Right. So, and you have no phones.
So you grew up very, very, very quickly.
Very, very quickly.
And brought up your brother.
And brought up my brother.
Which then means that you're at a very early age. I mean, presumably still at 11, 12, 13, you're taking responsibility for another person.
Well, my friends...
Way before you should have.
Yeah, and my friends would be like, can you come out? No, I've got my little brother. But you can come round mine.
Yeah.
It was always like, come round my house. I don't know if my mum's here or not, but I think my mum's way of coping at the time would be like surrounding herself with people to try and take her mind off it, and alcohol and whatever.
And your relationship with your brother? Half brother, he's presumably strong. I mean,
I'm the mum.
Yeah.
Right.
Does he see it like that?
Completely. Yeah, I've had to bail him out many
Even
times.
though there's actually only 5 years between you.
Yeah. So I think
Does he lean into you?
Yeah, maybe not as much now. He's got a little bit older and he's got his own little boy and everything. But yeah, I think Mum went into protecting him, and I think they've got this relationship as like their best. They try to be best friends.
Okay.
And then when they have an argument, they then don't speak for 6 months. Their way of socialising is in a pub, whereas I don't do that. Not that I don't do that. I love a glass of wine. Do you know what I mean? But like every day after work, they'd be in the pub. That's their way of socialising. I grew up very quickly at the age of 18 through my job.
It's an incredibly harrowing and terrible story, but it's one we've heard on numerous occasions through this podcast. Is people have had to deal with so much at a young age, and then to fast forward to where you are today, that it's almost like nothing can trouble me. If you know what I've been through, nothing can trouble me, and I'm going to live this life to the full.
It's like you build like a resilience.
Yes.
It's really hard because I'm so angry at him, and I very rarely go to his grave.
Because he left you behind.
Completely.
Yeah. What about, and again, don't go there if you don't want to, what about your biological dad? Not on the scene?
Don't know nothing about it. Well, where I live is a very close-knit town, and I know there's family connection there, and they have tried to reach out a couple of times.
But I'm just going to ask probably a very overly sensitive question, which is, in all of this happening with what you would call your proper dad taking his own life, did your biological dad not then see that as an opportunity and an obligation to step in?
If he did, I don't know about it.
You're quite easy to find, aren't you? Your face is now everywhere.
Oh yeah, and
now.
Certain parts of the family have tried to contact me through it. So I don't think it sits comfortable with my mum. I've heard different stories through different people. And is it one of those that will I ever really know? I don't know.
And again, look, forgive me if this comes across as an insensitive question, but this is what this podcast is. Do you think that your journey and your upbringing and that challenge and trauma has made Sam Cerrone the success that she is?
I do. Yeah, I think I've built resilience. I've built this. Throw anything at me and I'll go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have like the can-do attitude. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. Yeah.
It's an absolutely incredible story. And when Russell told me about you coming on and seeing you on the stage, I didn't have any of the backstory. So
I didn't know that until 5 minutes before we started shooting. Which is why I said, can we go there? And you said, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's part of you, right?
It is. Yeah, I could write a book.
And when you look at your own situation now, your own family situation, and we see on LinkedIn the work-life balance, and I have a business that has lots of self-employed people, and I guarantee if they treat it like get loads of home time, it won't work. You've got to throw almost more into it. So how do you juggle everything you've got going on at the moment in your life with work?
God, that's another story in itself. I think the first year or two of being self-employed, you're in like this bubble. And I remember saying, who's going to burst the bubble? Because it's absolutely incredible. This is my diary. This is my clients. I'm choosing what I can do. I can decide how I can market houses. I can choose who I want to bring on with my staff. I tell you what, while we're there, let's have another child. So
that's what you did.
That's what I did. So I had 2 boys.
Really?
Yeah.
You made the decision to have another child, despite the fact that your business is growing and you're juggling so many different things.
No, because with the boys, I was the first mum at nursery at 7:30, literally knocking on the door.
Oh, right.
I'm the last one there running up the hill at 6 o'clock. And then
because you're so busy.
Because you're so busy in the corporate world. So I was like, well, hang on, what would it be like to experience being a mum? I'm older. I had my first child at 22. Do you know what I mean? I thought I flipping You know, they'll
Yeah.
take Sam
Yeah.
Cerrone will take on the whole world.
yeah.
Well, looking back now,
I think she is.
but at 22, like you obviously don't know the real world. So I'm a lot older, I'm a lot more mature, I'm a lot more stable, financially stable. So yeah, let's have another child. Let's experience being a parent, being a lot more comfortable financially and whatever. And it's my diary, it's my choice. I'll juggle it. So yeah, and then she popped out a little girl, which was incredible because I'd got 2 boys.
So how old is she now?
So she's 3.
Wow.
Yeah, she's literally, and she's
Is she a little mini Sam?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. But do you know what? She's content.
Oh my God, I can't believe she just actually said that.
right.
Can you believe that?
No.
I mean, fair play.
No,
Fair
but
play for thinking it,
No,
fair play for
well, it was my
actually
social-
saying it.
I think I did use Archie the other day too on my LinkedIn.
well,
but,
my
yeah.
social media,
Yeah.
we
My
do
God.
something called Molly Memes. She's Molly. We do Molly Memes on every other Monday. with, like, pictures.
People think I'm a media whore.
Yeah.
But she's come to appointments
good
with
company.
me. She's come to appointments with me. She's come to viewings because my audience is very local, very family orientated.
Yeah.
So they were part of the
They
journey.
relate to you, yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I
so-
hope also that it will. I mean, I try and do this with my kids. I'm sure the Russ and I, your kids are a little bit older than mine now, but I hope it rubs off on them that they see
Yeah.
that ethic, that culture. They
hard
think
work, yeah.
this is the way life is, right? We work for ourselves and we try and be successful and try and do the right thing and hopefully have enough money for a nice car and a holiday.
Well,
here.
exactly. But yeah, you throw in the 3rd child and work becomes an addiction, doesn't it? It's like a drug.
Yeah.
It does.
And remember what I'd said back early in the podcast, which is just needed a 40 grand pipeline.
Yeah.
Well, I've now got
What's your pipeline?
I was going to say, what's today?
150 and now I want 200. Of course I do.
Yeah. And then 250.
And it's like a drug.
Do you,
It's like
as
an
a family,
addiction.
2 questions. As a family, do you get time for yourselves to chill and kind of de-stress together? And does Sam get time to herself?
Depends what you qualify as time for ourselves or time for as a family. So again, is there a right or wrong answer to that? I try and when I worked in corporate, it was your one holiday a year that you work towards. Do you know what I mean? Like now we have 3 or 4 plus little weekends holidays. So that's my kids. You'll get full mum on holiday. Is that really bad? I don't know. I don't know.
That's great you do that.
I always wrestle with this work-life balance thing. I met someone who talked about make life your work and work your life and actually blend the two, and then you won't stress about it. Because I found I was constantly stressing about work and stressing about keeping home right. Oh, can't do that, can't do this. And if I found a way to blend it that enabled it to be right, if I just take this call now, I'll be then fully attentive.
Yeah, see, I say
don't know if I
that, and then
was.
that call might be 45 minutes, and then that call might affect me for the rest of the night. I need to find that,
Right.
because it can affect a family balance. It really can, because work is like, I've got 3 children. Work is like another baby, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's a divider between me and my husband.
Yeah.
And I say that because I imagine like my laptop here, and it's like an addiction.
But he understands, right?
He understands, but sometimes I think where I've got to learn and what he wants from me is he wants to be priority.
Right.
And I'm struggling to find that priority. I spoke to Ben more recently about it, and he said it's funny because when you're like entrepreneurs and you've got a business and they are your babies, you set up every day and you write your to-do list and you'll get that highlighter and you'll go through it.
Yeah.
He said, where's your
your
you need
husband
to put
in
your
that
husband
list?
on it.
Yeah.
But you know what we entrepreneurs think? We think that our family are the priority, and our husbands and our wives and our girlfriends and so on. And by working as hard as we do to be successful, we are doing the right thing for our family because they're the priority. The way they see it is, and I get this a lot, but you're always working. You're always on the phone. There's always an email, whether it's holidays, evenings, or whatever. So I think we think we're doing the right thing because we're prioritising our financial situation. They see it as, you think about work more than you do us, but we don't see it like that. No, do we?
No.
The best way I
Good
can
reality
explain
check.
it's like a drug. It's like an addiction. I've just literally got back from holiday and I was close to hitting cap, and I'm checking every single day.
See if you get there.
And I hit it. Well, I hit it on the exchange, and then I flipping had a failed completion, my second one in 20 years.
Failed
How
completion?
how
Wow.
does that happen? I went straight
Yeah.
on LinkedIn. I've hit it. It's official, but it's not official because it's not banked. Right. But yeah. So then I'm there, like emails, working out the figures with my sales progressor. I think we're going to hit cap, and I'm on holiday. It's like, am I there with my family? Am I not? I don't. Is it the person that I am?
What about date night? No, not your thing. Apparently, that's the,
No,
that's the
it's
cure of all
Russell.
ills.
Do you know what,
Russell, not
right?
me.
No,
You
no,
say
no.
that here's a day, here's a night for between 7 and 10 on a Thursday where we go out for dinner, we go to the cinema. I didn't mean it's being sleazy. I don't do it.
No. Because I think when you
I'm
talk
just
to
suggesting.
when you talk
It's
to
full of good
people about
ideas.
when you talk to people about difficulties with marriage, I think everyone's very quick to say date night.
Yeah.
I've got 3 kids I've got to sort out. I've got to find a
it's
babysitter.
impractical.
It's not that it's impractical, but it's. I suppose you have to make the date nights happen, don't you? The other night we watched a movie and the phones were away,
Right.
and it was actually like quite wow. This is quite. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. But yeah, I suppose I'm at that point in my career where it's like I'm nearly 40. I've got to learn to find a balance. My husband says go upstairs and put your comfies on because he says that's when
That
I change.
changes,
If
right.
I walk about in the house and I'm still in my work clothes,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like that's work sound.
Right, so
Okay.
you know psychologically you're in work mode.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, and he's like your
Suit.
tone, your voice,
Yeah.
and then it sometimes might be like, "Don't talk to me like I'm one of your staff," because it naturally.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my
I've had that
staff,
regularly.
do you-
Yes,
do you-
yeah, I've definitely
or a
had that.
client.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, go upstairs, put your comfies on, and then come back down as
We're an odd
Sam.
breed.
Sarah actually says, "Don't be a cock."
We're an odd breed, but we
That's
mean
it.
well. So 5 years time, what's happening?
next?
Where are you?
Do you know what? So many people ask this question, and I'm going to be really boring now and just say I genuinely don't know. Because if you'd have said to me 5 years ago,
Where you be now?
would I be running a business with my best friends working for me and I'd have a little girl, I'd have absolutely pissed myself laughing because I'd never even thought of running my own business. So at the moment, I need to make sure that my kids are okay. My eldest is about to turn 17. He's got his first driving lesson at the weekend.
GCSEs?
GCSE, he's just done them. Yeah, they wasn't as good as he expected. And that was another emotional moment as a parent. Did I do everything right? So I need to get him into the world of work. I've got a middle child that is trouble as hell.
Will he be coming? Will he be coming to Cerrone Estates?
I don't know. He's got to show me the qualities on whether it's needed.
You've got to interview him.
Yeah.
Well,
Pass
with
a
all
few
due
tests.
respect, you're dealing with my clients, so
Yes,
they've
yeah.
got to have the service that they deserve, not just because you're my son. He's addicted to football at the moment, so he's doing a football scholarship. And then I've got a little girl to bring. She goes to school next year.
Okay.
So this is now where I've got to make some big decisions because I juggle her for 2 days of the week.
Right.
So I am heavily at the moment. I've got my business running with an amazing team. And if you know the world of EXP, there's the whole rev share.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Genuinely hand on heart through the love, I do want to help as many agents get them out of that corporate world and bring them into the self-employed world. Yes, it will create me some passive income, of course.
And for those that don't think you can earn sufficient money as a self-employed agent, or you don't think that social media is important, I think Sam Cerrone has just proved you decisively and well and truly wrong.
Completely.
You are a formidable individual.
It's fantastic.
It's formidable.
Brilliant. Great.
Yeah.
Go with that.
No, you are. I think you're, and you're also a real kind of bellwether, a real influence, positive influence on anybody watching this that perhaps was in your position a few years ago, either in a corporate or that's moved jobs and it's not quite working out, that you can go out on your own and with hard work and passion
yourself.
make it happen.
Yeah. I think get following Sam Cerrone if you want to see what it's all about. That's where I would start. So I think a lot of people think, I couldn't do that. But just start following someone like Sam and you will see, and Kim McGinley as well, you will see how just being real and communicating who
That's
you
exactly
are,
it.
that you can make a difference. And people trust you then. People trust
Yeah.
you. Sam, it's been incredible. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I know you've
Thank
had a
you.
torrid journey, so I really appreciate
Yes,
it getting down
tube
here
strike
today.
day today, by the way.
But
She's
that's
got
nothing.
here.
You just didn't give up. You were getting here. You were getting
She
here.
messaged me earlier. I thought, there's no way that she's bailing
Yeah.
because
No
it's
way.
Sam.
Well,
Right? There's
no.
no way.
Russell said, "Shall I have some fun?" I said, "No, you don't. We're gonna."
I was going to wind you
No,
up.
don't.
I was gonna wind
It
you up
wasn't the
and say,
day to wind you up.
we can.
But
No, you've
Sam,
been
lovely
brilliant.
to meet you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming. I imagine that Women in the Estate Agency may be having a guest speaker
Never
next
know.
year.
You never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
So that's it. Episode 43.
43.
We've got what have we got? We've got 4 more lined up in October. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been a fantastic run at the start of Series 3. We're on our way to 50, which means that we're on our way to 100, which means another summer party. So
Well, and
good fun, Russell.
These things just get better and better. And look, we do get a lot of approaches from people that say, "Can I come on the podcast?" And often if you have an interesting story like Sam or Neil and Matt or Mark, then obviously the answer is yes. But it isn't all about just promoting yourself. When you haven't done that, Sam, have you? It's about stories, journeys, challenges, inspiration, and so on. But if you have a story, if you think that you'd be appropriate, that you'd be fitting to be in the chair there, do contact us and let us know.
Lovely. Well, that's it. It's good night from me.
It's a good night from him.